Have you ever been so tired that even resting doesn't seem to help? Not just physically tired, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually tired. The kind of tired where even the things you normally enjoy feel like too much effort. The kind of tired where answering a message even feels exhausting. Where getting out of bed feels heavy. Where you know you need a break, but somehow a night's sleep isn't really enough anymore. If that sounds familiar, then today's remedy might be exactly what you need, because Olive is the Bach Flower Remedy for complete exhaustion. Not ordinary tiredness, but the kind of exhaustion that comes after you've given everything you had. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a Bach Flower practitioner and a vibrational healer, and in today's video we're going to explore one of the most beautiful remedies in the Bach Flower system, Olive. We will look at the emotional signs that you may need Olive, physical and psychological exhaustion associated with the state, and also why some people become completely depleted despite being strong and capable, and of course, the profound transformation that becomes possible when we learn to reconnect with a deeper source of energy. So let's begin. Let's have a look at the symbolism of olive. So the olive tree is an evergreen tree and one of the oldest symbols of peace, restoration, and renewal. Many people know the image of the dove carrying an olive branch after the great flood has passed in the story of Noah. The storm was over, life could begin again, and that perfectly reflects the essence of this remedy. Olive comes after the battle, after the illness, after the caregiving, after the crisis, after the sleepless nights, after years of pushing through. It is a remedy for the person who has simply reached the end of their reserves. People who need olive are often not weak people. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They are very responsible, dedicated, hardworking, reliable. People who keep going when everyone else stops. The people who carry responsibilities for years. People who rarely complain, people who continue even when they are already exhausted. And eventually something happens. The tank becomes empty. Emotionally, they may feel drained, uninspired, unable to cope, emotionally flat, disconnected from joy, unable to recover. Even positive experiences feel difficult. Things they once loved no longer excite them. There is no enthusiasm left, no reserve left, only fatigue. Psychologically, olive can feel like complete depletion. Your concentration becomes weaker, simple decisions just feel very difficult, your motivation disappears, you might find yourself staring at tasks without knowing where to begin. Everything feels heavier than it should. Even things that are normally easy suddenly require enormous effort. And people often say, I just can't do it anymore. I have nothing left, or I'm completely exhausted. And the frightening thing is that they are often right, because they have already used every reserve they had available. So this remedy is also strongly connected to physical exhaustion. Perhaps you've gone through a long illness or chronic stress, maybe poor sleep, caregiving, burnout, emotional trauma, prolonged grief, years of overwork. And now your body is just demanding attention. Sleep doesn't seem enough. A weekend doesn't seem enough. A holiday doesn't even seem enough. You may feel physically weak, heavy, drained, as if every battery inside you has been completely emptied. Olive is one of the most important remedies for this state. If you look deeper, olive teaches us something very profound. Many people in the olive state have learned to rely entirely on personal effort. They push, they persevere, they work harder, they give more, they keep going, and for a while, that works until it doesn't, because eventually personal reserves run out. And that is often the deeper lesson of Olive, the realization that we cannot live entirely on willpower. We cannot force ourselves indefinitely. We cannot carry the entire world on our shoulders forever. Life eventually asks us to surrender that illusion, not as a punishment, but as a wisdom. Spiritually, Olive invites us to reconnect with a deeper source of energy, a source that does not come from pushing harder, trying harder, or proving ourselves, but from alignment, trust, rest, and connection. Many people who need Olive believe that everything depends on them, that they must carry everything themselves, that they must always be strong, but eventually life teaches them something different. It teaches them that they are supported, that they are allowed to rest, that strength does not always mean effort. and that sometimes renewal begins when we stop fighting. The deeper lesson of Olive is humility, the understanding that we are not separate from life, that we do not have to create everything through personal force alone, and that there is a deeper source of vitality available when we learn to listen. So, what happens when you are in a positive Olive state? When Olive has done its work, something beautiful happens. Energy returns, not frantic energy, not nervous energy, but calm vitality. The person feels restored, balanced, present, strong again. They become capable of handling considerable emotional, physical, and mental demands without losing themselves. They begin noticing the small warning signs before exhaustion becomes overwhelming. They learn when to rest, when to slow down, when to receive support, and when to move forward. And instead of constantly forcing life, they begin working with life. There is resilience, there is strength, but there is also wisdom. Let's look at some practical support for Olive. If you find yourself in an Olive state, remedies are only a part of the picture. Your body is asking for restoration, so that might include adequate sleep, time in nature, gentle movement such as walking or yoga, fresh air, nourishing foods, reducing unnecessary commitments, learning healthy energy boundaries, allowing yourself periods of true recovery, and perhaps most importantly, learning that your worth is not measured by how much you produce or how much you give or how much you sacrifice. So how to take Olive? You get yourself a 10 milliliter stock bottle from Bach Flower Remedy Olive, which you can find in your local health store or local pharmacy or online, and I can leave you a link as well. You just put 2 drops in a glass of water or in a bottle of water and you sip from it daily. You do this for a month and that's it. If you've reached a point where you feel emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted, if you feel as though you've given everything and have nothing left, Olive may be one of the most important remedies you can explore, because sometimes healing is not about becoming stronger. Sometimes healing is about allowing yourself to be restored. And that is the gift of Olive, not endless effort, but renewal. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced an Olive state. I sure have. And if you find yourself regularly depleted, why not join my course Bloom into Balance, where I teach you how to take remedies, how to avoid getting yourself depleted again. In my course, I help you start your healing journey step by step while using the beautiful Bach Flower Remedies. If this video was helpful, feel free to share it with someone who really needs to hear this. And if you want to help me, just let another video run on the back. This helps the right people find me, and it's totally free. Thank you so much for being here with me. I loved making this video, and I'll see you in the next one.